Hello and welcome to Goa 365's Story Behind the Story. This is a very specific discussion. It's on the state budget. We've had already a discussion on the state budget on that present day. But today is hopefully the experts would have more time to study the budget and give you a few more pointers on the issue. Now I would like to introduce our panel, starting with Pallavi Ma'am Salgaonkar, entrepreneur. Gaurav Bab Kenkre, Chartered Accountant, and last but not the least, Nilesh Bab Shah of TTAG, the President, who represents tourism. Welcome to our show. Now, Pallavi ma'am, we start with you. Why? Because this budget, including the national and the state budget, its focus is supposed to be on women. So, tell me, how did you like this budget? Were there any good points on this budget? What exactly you felt?
The budget was in line with central and state government line of thinking, where they empower women to work more and to do more businesses, and through financial inclusion as well as policy procedures. So basically some new schemes what I found in this budget was that there was a higher allocation to women of 406 crores I think, and in which 281 crores or so is for Ladli Lakshmi and Griha Lakshmi schemes. One thing really good is that some states are already doing it, gender budgeting, which is being done for the first time in Goa budget. So basically they will decide, they will see the amount of amount which is allocated towards for projects and which are then spent and which are more towards for women. So that is what they are going to budget exactly. Some other states in India are doing it, and Goa is proposed to do it for the first time, which is a good thing. One more thing what they've got is self-help groups. See, at the ground level, at the rural level, there are a lot of self-help groups. So what they are proposing to do is that they are going to have this cluster level federations. So they are planning to have some 18 cluster level federations in which 1000 to 1500 women will be there. And they plan to give them around 1.5 lakhs for sustainability livelihood measures, as they call it. So that will be basically for livelihood earnings, so they can start some new business or do something. That is good. One more thing is Swayambhurna Bazaar, what they recently already launched, where a lot of self-help groups and women and artisans can actually sell their products. So that is a good thing, because now everything is online, and that way even rural women can put their products online and sell their products. So that's very difficult for rural people to go to cities and sell their products unless there are exhibitions or stuff like that. One more thing is that we have our Honorable CM who is very receptive to inputs. So we had also, as industry associations, gone and met him with our pre-budget inputs, and there he was very receptive to whatever we ask him, and lot of things he has incorporated in the budget. And also, like I have been the chairperson of GCCI Women's Wing for 4 years, so a lot of things we noticed that a lot of government institutions have this collateral free loans, but at the ground level, when financial institutions and banks actually implement it, they ask for collateral, though it is supposed to be collateral free. So so we had told the CM, we had told him that there is something we want, if there is any grievance, there should be somebody to which we can actually put forth the grievance. So actually I was reading through a budget yesterday, and then I found that he has actually kept a grievance portal, not just for women's issues, it's for all issues, but it's good that at least you can put whatever grievance or whatever complaint you have or whatever problems or challenges you have to forth to the government. So that is a good thing. And these are some of the things which I found pretty good in the budget, which if we implemented will be good.
Okay, thanks ma'am. Now Gaurav, ultimately the world rolls around money, so as to say. Yes. So if a person has got money in the pocket, you can do. The government needs our money to run, businesses need our money and all that thing. So what was it there in this budget for me, salary, business, generally, overall?
Yes. So, on the financial aspect of the budget, after studying it in all angles, I feel it's an incremental budget. It is not trying to go overboard. I should appreciate the government's resolve to not succumb to populist tendencies, especially in the election season. They have managed to keep a measured approach and gone only for additional allocations, additional funding for certain things, and not going out and out into some kind of big bang approach where you may lose the track of the entire thing. So overall, if you see all the figures, they are just slightly incremental from the previous budget, and certain things which really stood out were the tax revenues are going up. They are proposing the tax revenues will go up. However, we have not seen any substantial tax hike. So this could be the government's assumption could be that the GDP will grow and automatically the tax collections will grow, as well as the collection mechanism will improve. So on that front, the government has done a good thing that they have not tried to pinch the common man or the taxpayers by any further new taxes or hiking any of the taxes. Yet they have managed to increase the tax revenue. Because of this, because of the increase in tax revenue, and because they have controlled slightly to an extent the administrative cost, that is the establishment cost, they are now being able to allocate slightly more to public works, maintenance, materials, etc., and also slightly more to subsidies. So for example, subsidies were 3.2% of the budget last year. This year it is pegged to be 3.5%. So this clearly shows the incremental approach, as well as they are somehow trying to plug the small gaps and get the money into the right places. Similarly, the works maintenance and materials allocation, it was 19.8% of the budget last year. It is now 20.6. So this trend is very clearly visible. They are not trying to upset the apple cart. There is a phrase in English that don't mend something which is not broken. So maybe that is the approach which they are having, and it's a decent budget going ahead, and surprisingly it's not something which is going to bankrupt the government because of the elections, etc.
A lot of compliances are there now. Now,
Yes.
a lot of everything is online,
Yes.
XYZ. So, have any of these tax compliance procedure, have they been eased? Have they been, become smoother? All that. What do you feel?
Yes, so one big announcement which was made that they are trying to make several services for the common man, like house tax collection, trade tax collection, water, electricity NOC, income certificate, death certificate, etc. They want to move all of this online. So if this is done in the right earnest, right spirit and proper implementation, it can be a real boon to the common man, because these are the small things. These are, as I come back to my original thing, it's an increment, it's a small tinkering budget. I'm reminded of our former defense minister and chief minister of Goa, late Shri Manohar Parrikar. He had in one of his budgets which he said that Goa doesn't need huge proposals. It's like a thali at a vegetarian food restaurant. You get 10 different small katoris, each katori little bit small items. You don't need one big hero item. So that's what this budget is trying to emulate. Everywhere some small plugs which may translate into real tangible benefits to the common man in directly or indirectly.
Okay, thanks, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Now, tourism is something that is I don't know. I think the state runs on tourism, because most of the revenues which come into Goa are mostly from tourism. So, Nilesh Babu, how has the budget sought to support tourism and Goan tourism or Goans in tourism, or just a general overview on what is the situation?
Basically, there is a incremental of the overall budget. Last year was 246 CR, it's 262 CR. So overall, if you see our total budget is around 26,000 crores. So in that, if you see, if we are talking tourism is a main
But it is, right?
The allocation, if you see, it is quite minimal. But indirectly, all the spending which is done, it helps tourism, like on infrastructure, which is spent on. So overall, indirectly it helps tourism. Directly, maybe allocation is not substantial. So in this year, there have been like certain things which were announced last year, which may not able to carry forward. They mentioned it again in the budget. Like they said that when the entry, they will collect the fee and give the sticker to the vehicle. You will not able to, no need of then checking of your this is on the ease of travel for incoming vehicles, which was announced even last budget. This budget also they have repeated. Similarly, they are talking about the convention center opposite Paratan Bhavan, which is with the center funding that they will complete. I hope they complete that project. Then they are talking about hinterland tourism policy. They are talking about caravan art tourism policy. So these all policies, they were been in discussion. it has been budgetary, it's been announced earlier, but in budget they have been announced further that yes, these are the things which is the way forward they are looking into it. The hinterland tourism policy, Caravana policy, all those things are fine. So these are the basic what it is there. Besides that, they have a budget which is there ongoing for lifesaver, then your garbage collection, for the beach safety, all this. So those things are there. So in general, there may not be very what you call the big ticket announcement as far as the budget is concerned, but overall it's okay. And as my colleagues in the panel have just already have said that it is a more of a continuation budget, and it is even if we have election, there is no election punch as such.
Specific.
But it is a synchronizing with what center has been talking. Same thing our local government is talking, or Savarnapurna Goa, where they are talking Savarnapurna India, means we are talking about so on the similar on the full development part. So I think it is a work in progress, and if we see the amount of money which has gone into infrastructure in Goa, definitely we will see the results in days to come. So now the question comes: is Goa overdeveloped? Means over things there which is which has a negative. So those things are the things which are looking into more of a sustainability, responsibility. So I think more money needs to be now. We have a proper infrastructure, but then how we are going to see that maintain those infrastructure, and people who are coming in, how they are going to use those infrastructure. So I think now the question will come that how we are going to pan out for our own sustainability in the tourism sector, or for any livelihood which is in Goa. Now Goa, if you see the capital income is one of the highest in India. So
Highest, I think.
highest. So if
Delhi
that is the say, then in Goa anybody does not have a problem of bread and butter. So even unfortunately we have that new gen which is coming in, parents saying that you can stay at home. So that is another problem which we are facing. So I think
Wait, I don't think parents are saying they will stay at
no,
home.
I'll tell you.
Kids want to
No,
stay
there
at
are
home.
issues. I'll tell you. Suppose if you have to start somewhere, you have to start at X price.
Correct.
You don't expect that you will get 100 rupees from day one. You may have to start at 50 rupees, but you need to start somewhere. But I've come across where says no, if you don't get that, you no need of starting. So I think that mindset needs to be changed, because overall I think there are a lot of challenges. Of course, the government also faces, but but I would have liked actually if there was a more clarity on the transportation, which if they have talked on, because I think that is a pressing issue. Any debate you go, any person of one stature you meet, or any common man you meet, everywhere it lies on the transportation as far as Goa is concerned. So I think if more clarity on that would have been, it's not that it is happening, but it is at slow pace. I
Also,
think
accidents are a big worry.
so if you go to see why it's happening, nobody is analyzing those things. So they are happening because there are more vehicles on the road. Secondly, why there are more vehicles on the road? Because there is no good proper transport system. You see families traveling on the bike, it's not because of the enjoy, because the Goa distances are not that short that in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They are driving on the bike because it is transport is unaffordable. Or local transport is not available either way. So I think something seriously has to be done on that. Let's talk about Panjim as we have got this opportunity. You see the right now position of the Panjim. All businesses are literally
Very badly
suffering, very
affected.
badly they are suffering, and I think there has to be some way out into how we are going to go forward into the infrastructure also when we are building. Now we are going to build Porvorim thing. Can you imagine if somebody has to go to the airport, what will be the state of affairs? So I think we need to work on those strategies. Infrastructure is in place, means the money is in place, ideas in the place, plans are in place, but then how you will communicate,
And implementation also is an issue. Implementation has also been an issue.
Both
right?
communicate and commute. How we are going to do that? Because that is the key. Because ultimately the messaging which has to be very clear that how we want to take it forward. Because it is going to be a challenge. So I think these are the points which we will have into day to day this thing for overall sustainability or growth of tourism. But overall, I think what I feel lacking is right now we have a lot of what you call sites in. We are talking of hinterland tourism, heritage tourism. We are talking now. We have a heritage site in Panjim itself. Two of the biggest. One is Adil Shah Palace, which is pre-Portuguese.
Yeah.
We have Inox, that old GMC, which they are converted into ESG thing. complex. Now, are we promoting those things? We are not doing it. So I think it's that packaging which needs to be done properly, or the how they convert it into office. And if you go inside, you feel that literally that smart city office was there. I went once to Adil Shah Palace. It is literally scary, that how you can, such a structure which is a ancient structure. So there can be a story around these places. Like there can be a good art gallery, or there could be there where it is maintained, and it has to be ultimately government is difficult to maintain, I understand. So under some PPP model or some where revenue generation comes in and it's be able to self-sustain. I think something needs to be coming on that expected long term.
One point I wanted to put to you. Now the center may not be specifically targeting Goa, but center has put up these tourism hubs and XYZ. So possibly the state can make use of all this funding, because see, whether we like it or not, majority of the funding for infrastructure and development in Goa is come from the center. I don't expect you to answer that, but this is what I am putting out. So even the central funding is there, and a lot of central plans are there for tourism. In Goa, it happens. What we have seen over the past implementation, there's always a cup between, there's slip between the cup and your lip. So that is something that good intentions, yes, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That is a famous, it's a cliche, no doubt, but so that you foresee, or you are confident that this government ultimately, because if not, then we are going to have an issue. We will be like another, we may not have, we will be another district of Maharashtra or of Karnataka, and we will, the other states and countries will take over.
If you see the...
But center is taking care of tourism.
Overall, Goan bureaucracy has done a good job in attracting those center funds into Goa. Let's be very, very clear. So you see smart city, you have got funds.
Yes.
Building these big bridges which are there, Atal Setu or New Zuwari Bridge, Mopa Airport, of course in the PPP, but then it is again a center funding the flyovers which are coming in there. So we have been quite good enough in attracting those funds.
Center has been good to us, that's what I saying.
And we have been blessed with the funding from center. Now Old Goa also on Swadesh Darshan, they have some plans. So they are planning, but unfortunately the implementation which has to be time bound, which is not happening. Or somewhere or other, I think we are missing out on something which I think we need to analyze and take it forward, because otherwise it will be very, very difficult. Like I will take example again in this budget they have announced about the mini convention center. It is a center funded project. It should have been completed long back.
Long back, yes.
So why it is not happening? So I think somewhere we need to correct ourselves and take it forward, because ultimately it is people's money, and unless those infrastructures are based, that is a way forward for everyone. Now, as far as business is concerned, you can't put your all eggs in one basket.
Correct.
Now, Panjim, we like it or don't like it. Right now, especially the hospitality business was running on because of good influx of casino crowd.
Because of casinos, others Panjim will die.
So now
It's
with
like,
GST becoming at particular level. Now what has happened is automatically that business has come down. It has rationalized. So if you had a convention center, this is just a thought that maybe it happened, may not be happening. But if it is there, definitely the small options will have for the hospitality industry. So I think the thought process and tourism is a dynamic subject, and you have to react quite fast.
Okay. Ma'am, what I'm saying is that now generally to get into business for anybody is quite painful. So especially for women, it's even more painful. There are issues at home. They don't want you to go out to work, and when you are a businesswoman, it's not 9 to 5. So all those things. So you feel that this budget has, or should it, push for because everybody is talking about 50% of the population is of the fairer sex. So you needed more, or is it there? Implementation? What do you feel is going to be?
See, empowering from the government side is there, but it is a duty of the government, and which it does is to create an ecosystem where people can start entrepreneur businesses, where industries can thrive. Even women.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking in general.
No, I'm very specific about women.
Yeah. So I was a part of, actually I always tell, there's something one of my experiences that I normally tell in most of my interviews. I was a part of Goldman Sachs 10K program in Bangalore, which was with IIM Bangalore.
Yeah.
So basically the kind of quality of the crowd I saw there was like amazing. They were in sunrise industries, they were in tech, they was in consultation industry and all that stuff. So basically compared to our Goan counterparts, they were very ambitious, very intelligent. Most of them were MBA grads. They knew what they want, and they partnered, co-founded companies, EVs, and lots of companies, some of which I have not even heard. Really good quality crowd. So in fact, meeting them, I was thinking there's so much gap between them and us in Goa. So little bit we need push into the Goan women, I would say. So they want to be in the traditional industry. They want to be in that same bakery industry or food or clothes in the garment business or beauty business. So they don't want to get out of that comfort zone and try something else. Now whether they have the support and whether they'll get the loans to start something else, and definitely whether they have the skill sets. That is very important, because even when I went to Vibrant Gujarat, I attended a session on Skill India, which was an amazing session where they talked about today our industry is 4.0, which will gradually go to 5.0. So then it is going to be entirely robotics. So whether our employees, whether our entrepreneurs have the skill sets to move to take the step from one level to another. So we don't.
You're talking about in Goa?
Yeah, in Goa also. So recently actually I was called at Home Science College for this Industry Academia Connect. So even there, when they spoke in Gujarat, the central officials and ministry was there. So they always spoke about how people don't have the skill sets.
Yeah.
Even I feel women entrepreneurs, to start this kind of industries, you require the skill set. If you don't have the skill set, how can you start?
Before you start,
which I found in Bangalore or rest of the women in India. So basically, women in Goa must cover up that gap in terms of skill set. As far as loans are concerned, government has given you ample opportunities. Central, we have great institutions like EDC in Goa, which give you very good loans, collateral free. So opportunities are given by government. It is up to them. They have to rise. And women nowadays, see, as far as multitasking is concerned, women are great at it.
Yes,
Of
they have
course,
to
there
be.
is, yeah. But of course, there is that age where even I was reading recently Niti that a lot of women are not there in C-suite positions, where because of children, of their children's
That
age
gap
and
is
everything,
there.
yeah, that gap is that they want to take a break and then start their professions. Like even Nykaa owner
Yeah,
started
yeah.
at the age of 50. So basically, women may start entrepreneurship late, but they can they want to take that break of 5 to 10 years where they want to give time to the family. But today, government has given the opportunity. The ecosystem is there. It
There.
is up to them to fine-tune their skill sets and take that opportunities and rise ahead.
I may disagree on this because I don't think ecosystem is there. But anyway, that's for another day. Last, we are almost out of time, Gaurav. And has the budget specifically supported the salaried class, businessmen and MSMEs, anything specific, or it's just a general sort of a thing?
Yes, so as I mentioned, there are no clear verticals like the central budget. They used to have 10 pillars of
Correct.
development,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no central
Here it's
theme.
only women.
Yeah, there's no
thing,
women are the only one central
One
theme they
central,
caught,
yeah.
and women cuts across all women businessmen, women common man, all of them will be covered. But there's no specific
Yeah.
allocation that for the common man we are doing this, for the business we are doing this. There are small bits and pieces. So for example, one thing which is there is that they have proposed a single window system for all NOCs and permissions for beach weddings and tourism events. Now whether that single window leads to multiple doors or not is the question mark, but at least the
Or it
intention
leads
is
to
there.
inspections. We don't know.
At least the intention is there. So
Sorry, Nilesh, I can't bring you in on this for the next discussion.
so at least that intention is there. And one more thing which was actually happening, which is a practical issue for businesses as well as common man, and I think the press also has reported on this. There was a huge issue at the sub-registrar. There are a lot of cases piling up for
Right.
registration.
Yeah, yeah.
So now they have said that they are going to do dynamic allotment of cases. So I'm assuming that it will go to any sub registrar depending on his workload and time schedule. Instead of
I don't know, but sub registrars have got fixed rates. I remember when I was in
Can I
Herald,
add
they
a
had
input here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had in MAPSA, it is one of the worst sub-registrars
Why
for
no? The guy was just transferred,
1
the
to
new
2
guy
hours
also.
just to get an appointment.
There's a rate sheet. We had
One
done
and
a
a half
story
hour-
in Herald.
1.5 hour, 2 hours is a good time. I
Two-
had
two
One month.
months.
One and a month.
my client who had come down from Canada to sell a property, he went back without selling because he said once I get the appointment I'll come because it's not happening.
Exactly.
He waited for 3-4 months.
3-4 months?
Keep on extending his travel stay and visa and everything. He said now I can't wait. I have to go back otherwise I'll lose my.
I don't know. See, you remember? I don't know if like we had a rate card. We had done a rate card story of the RTO rates.
Okay.
Today, see, registrars also have that rate card. I think.
No,
I
but
mean, that's what
comparatively Penjim you get faster.
I guess seat of a lot of people. Yeah. Okay. MSMEs and
Yeah, so
business
these-
is
both
short.
these-
In short.
Yeah, so both these will help the MSMEs indirectly. There will be no direct benefit for MSMEs.
Okay, that's
One
okay.
thing in
Okay.
VAT they have brought in somewhere during the last year they removed the threshold limit for registration. They said that anyone who is selling even 1 rupee of
rupee,
liquor
yeah.
will have to go for VAT registration. That was a big pain point for
Many.
small dealers.
I think GCCI had put up a thing on that.
Yes, so the budget has brought in 2 things. One, they have first of all increased the date of registration till 31st March 24. Secondly, it was announced in the budget and then later on it was brought in the last week. They have announced a new composition scheme for alcohol dealers
Small.
below 10 lakhs, small dealers. So that is definitely going to help in the ease of doing business for those people. The reason for bringing this law, removing the 10 lakh was we have been interacting. They found that the excise department has records of sale of liquor, but those corresponding people are not paying VAT. So there was a tax evasion. There was a tax evasion. So they had to bring in this so that the tax evasion is nullified. But now they have brought in the composition. So I think it's a fair balancing act by them.
Okay. Thanks, guys. We are like out of time completely. Thank you, Pallavi ma'am. Thank you, Gaurav Bab. Thank you, Nilesh Bab. Yeah. Now this has been like a pretty comprehensive thing about basically what the budget would has brought: incremental, common sense, and little bit for everybody. So hopefully, my after every budget, I think probably this has become like by heart. Implementation. Hope this implementation happens, especially in industry, because the ease of doing business is a big issue. It's been a big issue. It still is a big issue, even though there are so many things which are supposed to be online. But then you put it online and the guy will write a note. Please come for inspection. Where is the point of doing things online? This is something that our chief minister, who is very, very sort of enterprising and he looks into all these things, should look into and ensure that it happens. Ease of doing business is something that is very important. If Goa is to survive, forget about reaching somewhere else. Goa and Goans. Thank you and keep watching Goa 365.